We are just one day away from Election Day.
And what's crucial here is each party says everything is on the line now as candidates make a last-minute push to swing voters ahead of the polls closing Tuesday evening. The election really has been underway for weeks, with early voting and absentee ballots already cast.
CBS News political director and expert on all these topics, Finn Gomez, has kept us up to date day by day, hour by hour, and today is one day. He joins us from the CBS News election headquarters. Finn, welcome. It's so good to see you. First of all, I mean, we've been hearing about a red wave. We've also now more recently been hearing President Biden's being a lot more optimistic than we had over the last few weeks. How are the parties feeling just one day before the final vote?
Yeah, that's a great point that you brought up with the president. Just this past weekend, President Biden did sound optimistic about the chances for Democrats come tomorrow. Election day is finally upon us. Tomorrow, after months and months, it's here. But he did say that he felt that he was confident that the Democrats could hold the Senate and potentially the House as well. He made those comments to White House reporters before he got on Air Force One on Friday. But Republicans, looking to the other side, Republicans overall are feeling very bullish about their chances. I spoke to top party officials over the weekend who say that they feel that they could win the House with a substantial net gain for the lower house, the lower chamber, and they also feel that they can win the Senate outright. Senator Rick Scott, who's the chairman of the NRSC, the campaign arm, if you will, of Senate Republicans, told our own Nicole Killian in Georgia that he thought that Herschel Walker, the Republican candidate running for Senate there, could clear the 50% threshold. And that's the 50% threshold that's needed for a winner to win outright in that state and avoid a runoff. But a lot of experts, a lot of people I spoke to on both sides believe that be an indication that race could be specifically something that could go to a runoff. It's been so close throughout the year. Most polls have shown it just neck and neck. And sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead there, Finn.
No, please. It's good to see you too, Eric.
I mean, it's clear this thing about, how long it will take if there is a runoff. And I saw an ad that was very effective from Warnock showing up in your Thanksgiving dinner. I think that will get people out there to vote.
Especially, I mean, the number that really jumps out at me is the fact that 40 million Americans have already cast their ballot in these very crucial races. And if anyone's following along at home, you're going to want to put Arizona, Pennsylvania, and Georgia on your bingo cards because they will come up a lot. But talk to us, Finn, about what role Nevada might play in swinging the balance of power in Congress after Election Day.
Real quick, Errol, though, on your point about Georgia, about 2.5 million voters voted in the Peach State. That early voting period ended last Friday, but that was a record. So there has been a turnout in that state, as you noted. For Nevada, as Lillian knows, who's done some reporting from there, Nevada is a crucial state for both parties and their strategies to see who may control the Senate after Election Day. And looking ahead to the next Congress, Nevada is neck and neck. I mean, you have seen most polling between the Democratic incumbent Senator Catherine Cortez Masto and Republican Adam Laxalt. That throughout the cycle, it has been a very, very close race, and it's one of the most important, like I said, because for Republicans, and Republican officials have told me this as well, Republicans believe that they would need this perhaps to take back the Senate control. It's something that we've seen be an incredibly important state, not only during the midterm cycle, but also on as a presidential battleground as well.
Yeah, that's right, Finn.
A lot of attention from both sides, and it's also something where, as you know, Lilia, there's been a significant Latino vote there. About 20% of eligible voters are Latino, and they could also decide who wins in Nevada.
A great deal of attention there. And I've noticed Cortez Masto become a lot more aggressive than she was, at least at the time that I was there, just like on message, a lot more contentious with her opponent. But I want to take us to Pennsylvania. After a highly contentious weekend, I mean, a president and two former presidents were there. Can you walk us through what's going on? How is the Keystone State feeling at this time? It's just the tightest, highest stakes race.
Yeah, Lilia, we've been talking about battlegrounds, and this is the key battleground. It is a place where, in a state where we have seen the Democrat, Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, again, be neck and neck with the Republican challenger, with his Republican opponent, Dr. Mehmet Oz. And this past weekend, as you mentioned, we saw three presidents, one current, President Joe Biden, and also former President Barack Obama, campaign for the Democratic candidates, including Josh Shapiro, who's the gubernatorial candidate running there in Pennsylvania. And there were these big heavy hitters who are trying to turn out the vote, because this race is very crucial for Democrats' chances of holding the Senate, of flipping the seat that was once held by a Republican. And also you saw former President Donald Trump. He was in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, trying to rally support for Dr. Mehmet Oz, as I mentioned. And so, there's been a lot of attention, a lot of focus on Pennsylvania. And will be one that has just a lot of attention, both across the state and nationally.
Finn Gomez, part of our special team coverage. We know you'll be busy. Thank you so much for connecting with us.